In this video, we're going to be breaking down 5 ways to stay motivated on YouTube and really as a creator in general, and telling for the first time the real story behind video influencers. But hey, if you're new here, Benji, what is video influencers all about?
What's up, influencers? Yes, I am Benji Travis, and welcome to our channel where we help you build your influence, income, and impact with online videos. Here at Video Influencers, we're passionate about YouTube for online video and everything that it can do for you guys. So we have weekly tip videos as well as interviews with some of the most successful influencers in this platform. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And today, Sean, I'm just excited because this is one of our first times that we get to share our story with you guys. We're going to be talking about motivation because, we did a few polls on Twitter, did some polls on YouTube, and you guys told us very clearly that you want to be inspired. You want daily motivation. So that's why we're doing this today, and just excited to be here, Sean.
Absolutely. And we're excited because coming out September 25th is our new book, YouTube Secrets. And it's been quite a journey to this book coming out. In fact, it's been 4 years and really even more than that. And we're going to be breaking down some of the things that happen in that process, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the lessons we can learn to help you stay motivated for what it is you are building. And so today's topic is how to stay motivated, the video influencer story. But hey, if you enjoy live streams like this, can you smash the like button, maybe tag somebody, maybe let them know this is happening. And we want to start with this quote of don't despise small beginnings. In fact, tell me in the comments if you can maybe relate to that. You might feel like, man, it can be overwhelming to see people that are established at the top of the mountain. They've got 1 million subscribers. They've got all this stuff going on. But everybody started with 0. And tell us in the comments maybe how many subscribers you have right now and how long you have been building your YouTube channel. But don't despise the day of small beginnings. And this is actually a picture of Benji, Judy, and I. And so Benji, how long have we known each other?
We've actually known each other for, I want to say 8 years, going on 9 years. The way Sean and I met was a similar passion for YouTube, right? He met me. He was already doing his YouTube thing, working with the church, doing some side projects for some clients. I was managing my wife's YouTube business. It wasn't even really a business. It was just a passion, and she was able to make some side income. And the way we met was I actually asked Sean to tape my proposal to Judy. And that's how everything started. And again, like the power of YouTube is bringing people together. And that picture that you guys saw a little bit earlier was us at one of our first meetup events that Sean was taping. It was part of this series that we created. A lot of the early days, but we've been friends ever since. And as you guys can see, all looking pretty young. Hopefully we're still looking young, but those were the early days of video influencers before it was even formally video influencers.
Yes. And so we've known each other for quite some time. We've worked together, but then Benji and Judy have been based in Seattle where my wife and I grew up, but we've been living in Vegas. And so really the genesis of video influencers was a plane ride from Seattle from Vegas to Seattle. I was flying over to meet up with Benji to just work on something else. And I was listening to a podcast and it was talking about the power of books and how books can change people's lives. And I thought, man, what if we were to write a book? Like, what if Benji and I were to write a book? And the reason I was thinking about that was because of the fact that we have all this different experience. And so when I thought about what we had done in video, even then, this is 4 years ago, Benji and his wife, Judy, had been popular YouTubers with vlogs and makeup channel and all that kind of stuff. But also Benji had done a cooking channel. He actually had a real estate channel that during the recession and coming out of like the housing crisis in America, went from selling 10 homes a year to over 100 homes a year. And then I thought about my background, and I had helped a lot of authors and speakers with the optimization. I was kind of like the behind the scenes video producer as well as YouTube strategist. Had even helped Benji and Judy. I wrote a book called YouTube for churches and help people in that space. And so I was like, I got off the plane and Benji and I are on this drive from Seattle to our hometown. And we were just talking like, what if we were to write all of this into a book? Do you remember that, Benji?
Absolutely. Sean and I, we have similar backgrounds in supporting other people. Like Sean said, he was doing YouTube, I was doing YouTube, but we were in these support roles and we saw all the success stories that other people were having. So when Sean got off the plane, I was all excited. I remember that's like when Meerkat was coming out. You remember that, Sean? And we were like going live, but we were just so pumped up about the potential of YouTube, of online video, obviously, even social media in general. And that's how that idea brewed. Again, not necessarily just because of what we found works for us and the success we were able to have, but what other people were doing, right? The stories of other YouTubers that we were friends with, of other business people building personal brands, and just like so many amazing opportunities that were still so open and available. And we're like, hey, let's write a book. And I just remember thinking like, this is not going to be like a major thing, but I could do this on my spare time. So, two YouTubers never wrote a book before. We're like, let's bang it out in 6 months. We'll call it good. And that was the beginning, you guys.
Absolutely. And we committed to writing the book, and I was listening to that podcast, and we worked with a self-publishing company to help us do that. So we actually started the process, like we completely committed to it. But then after we actually began the process, we just put a halt to it. We thought, wait a minute, we need to stop this and slow down. And here's why. We had realized that, yes, Benji and Judy had their vlog, and yes, I had an email list and some other things I've been doing, but we really didn't have a platform, and that's a key word for what you're building. You want to build a platform before you ever want to launch a product, like in this case, it's now the final book. But we thought we don't have actually a platform that would care about this message specifically. So we're like, man, we need to halt this. And we set a goal actually, especially from a lot of the mentors that we've had. And that was that we want 25,000 people to sign up for our email list, our email newsletter, before we ever launch a book. And right now, again, we had different influence, but not about this one thing. So we put a total halt to the process, and we started video influencers. And this is actually a photo of our first photo shoot. And we handed Benji's sister a point and shoot camera. Like we went out behind the house and boom, video influencers was born.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember those days. And we were already thinking, like, how do we reach as many people as possible? So I don't know if Sean mentioned it, but we did decide, hey, if we're going to make a video about online video, we better be making a YouTube channel. And those early days, we had no plan, but we were very clear about what we wanted to do. We wanted to make the greatest book possible with our skills, and deliver that message to as many people as possible. We didn't know how we were going to do it and how long. Well, we thought 6 months, but that picture, as silly as that picture was, we're like, hey, let's start building awareness. Let's officially announce to the world we're going to do this. And those humble beginnings, started outside the back of my house.
And from there, we just got started and we just kept going. So we shot this video. You can see it's the same time. And Benji just held up a little Canon S120. And we're like, hey, we're going to start this thing. And this is actually the first video on Video Influencers channel, December 28th, 2014. And we just put it out there, done is better than perfect. We've got Benji's grill. There's some snowflakes on the window, no fancy set, just like getting into it, making it happen. And it was actually what we wanted to do was test our 7 C's. Now, like I said, we had done video, we had experience in video, we had seen the life-changing power of video even 4 years ago. And we had a process that we thought, let's see if this process works. And it's the process we break down in this book. And it's really the 7 C's of YouTube success that goes from courage to clarity to your channel, your content, your community, cash, and consistency. And here's the thing. The book comes out Tuesday, and all week long, we're going to be sharing details about these 7 C's, doing some training. So definitely make sure you have notifications turned on. We're going to be doing a lot of different training on this book. But then what we did was we just got started. And at the time, I was living in Irvine. And so we've always been building video influencers from 2 different states. And so we use Google Hangouts. This is one of the first interviews with Timothy Delgado. Just like hustling, making it happen. Nothing fancy, just pressing record, punching fear in the face, punching perfectionism in the face, and getting started.
And notice, you guys, those are webcams, okay? They aren't DSLRs. They're not even like nice webcams. They're like the webcams on board our laptop screen. So we didn't have any excuses. We're like, okay, we might not have the right setup to do interviews because that was one of the things that we did that was a little bit different than some of the other people, like colleagues of ours. We're just like, we're going to interview all the people that we know. So even though Sean and I were, different states, and oftentimes our guests would show up on Skype, we're like, the content is what's important, and we want to start doing this right away. So we didn't wait very long. In fact, I will tell you guys this. We started the YouTube channel and interviewing and creating videos way before we ever wrote a word in the book. Is that true, Sean?
Absolutely. Exactly. We wanted to just again say, okay, we have done this on our own channels, and we have got some results, but we thought, let's see if this stuff actually works. Let's start from scratch. Let's start a brand new channel, and let's actually test the concepts before we really write them down, as well as also figure out what doesn't work, right? Because we wanted to make sure it was the proven principles of success on YouTube. And we want to encourage you, always start wherever you are. What's so funny about one of our early videos, you can see now by May 2015, is we were living in two different states. So we had Benji's house, my house, but Benji and his family, they're packed in. Like their house doesn't really have any even empty walls or a place to shoot. And this was actually my mom's house because I was living in Vegas. So what we'd do is when I would go up to visit family, we would shoot a batch of videos. But what's so funny about this is we wanted to create this modern, sleek, edgy brand. And I think that those fish behind me, really illustrate that. So we were like, what if we put some of just random gear? There's like lenses on these weird tables in front of, right in our crotches, and bottles of water, what is even happening in this photo, right? Like, this is hilarious, oh, yeah. Benji.
What I remember is your mom constantly wanting to feed us, which, bless her heart, like, who wouldn't want to get fed? But literally, we're having full-on meals multiple times throughout our video shoot. At my house, obviously, I've got the kids, so sometimes a kid would want to come into the office. This office that I'm standing in, you guys, is like little 10 by 10 little shed, and we would set up the camera in the very corner of the office. So we didn't have a proper studio. We didn't have a place like that we could just have everything set up. So in addition to filming in these places that weren't very traditional, which, by the way, that's why we can relate with you guys who are just starting out in your bedroom or your dorm room or just whatever space you have. When Sean and I would travel, we would make a point to film 1 or 2 videos or batch produce, because we were both pursuing other things at the same time and just realizing, how much work it takes to obviously start a channel while we're hustling on other things. So you guys, we understand how much work it takes and some of the challenges, especially if you got a family, right? Or you have a day job. And that's why I love that picture, because what was funny, oftentimes Sean's mom would walk behind us or in front of us. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. Sonia, I remember, right? Because that's where they were staying when they would visit. So man, those were the days, Sean.
Man, it's been a journey, and it really has been a journey, because now it's been 4 years. We've posted over 300 videos to video influencers. We've invested over $100,000 in our education as it pertains to learning YouTube, learning online marketing, going to the events, talking to the experts, investing in masterminds or coaching, 20 plus industry events. We've done over 100 interviews. 350,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, by the way, for being a part of that community. And now 120,000 people on the email list. And what's the point? Now we've put all of that information in YouTube Secrets. We thought it was going to be a 1-year process. We thought that it was going to, be something that we originally, 4 years ago, committed to doing, but we put a stop on it, and we wanted to say, we want this to be right and not rushed. But also in this video, we want to talk about motivation, because this goes into the fact of how do you sustain things for the long haul? That's quite a journey. It's a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of setbacks, a lot of different challenges that can happen. But we're very excited, and this book will be out September 25th, Amazon.com. It'll be coming, the audiobook, other things will be coming your way. But at the end of the day, you got to do the work. And that's what we've been committed to for the last 4 years. But we want to talk about 5 ways to stay motivated, learning lessons from this. And Benji, can you talk about number 1, which is stay focused on the goal?
Absolutely. So for us, simply, like the way we stay focused was the number one decision we made was we're going to write a book. So if we hadn't written a book, we're like, we're going to have to keep grinding. We have to keep working, right? And, when you're building a channel that doesn't directly relate to the book, you have to always ask yourself when we're doing planning calls or having meetings, we're like, okay, when are we going to write the book, right? So it was always part of our conversation. But like just that thought in my mind kept us going. I know that both Sean and I were like, no matter how great things were in our individual businesses or how well video influencers are going, that idea of the book being done was like our driving force. Now, don't get us wrong. Like just because we finished the book, it doesn't mean like in a year we're done. We're actually just getting started. But the point is this, we always kept it in front of us. So at home, I have my goals written in front of me everywhere, in the bathroom, in the office. Oftentimes when I'm working, I'll put my goal like on a little note card and put it on my screen. So like having that in front of you and focusing on that, because when times get hard, which they're going to get hard and there's challenges, everybody experiences problems and hurdles and setbacks. Just remind yourself why you even got started, because until you get there, you don't want to stop. You don't want to quit. And that's what we've done. And again, for us, it was a physical book. I don't have the actual physical book on me. I wish I did. But like you guys, if you have a vision of like something you want to create, like a book or something physical, like keep that in your mind, because if it's a powerful goal, you won't quit.
Absolutely. And tell me one of your goals in the comments. So, what is that goal you want to be focusing on? Maybe it's a financial goal. You say, if I can just hit this much money of side income a month, not only would I love what I'm doing on YouTube, but I would also be able to maybe fund and help support my family doing it. Maybe your goal is to write a book or eventually design an app or do a startup or do a business. Maybe your goal is to whatever it is, tell us your goal and then keep your goals in front of you. Like I said, it's so interesting because we had this pillar that was out there. And what was also interesting is that also sometimes when you set a goal, that might not even be what it is about, and we are so excited for this book, but so much stuff has happened in 4 years that we could have never planned or predicted, but we just got moving. Like we just got started. We started moving towards this, even by, we worked with the self-pub company, we signed up, and then we stopped. And you know what they said? Later now, the guy, Zach, on our team, he's like, I didn't think you guys were coming back. I didn't think that you were even going to finish this. I didn't think it was going to happen. But because we basically signed the contract, right? We made that leap of faith. We opened the YouTube channel. Benji vlogged the first video. Like we did that first step. Keep moving towards your goals. And even they might change a little bit, but when you make progress, that is how you really take territory towards your ultimate dreams. And so number 2 now along the journey of how we've stayed motivated was mentors. We've encountered so many challenges on this journey, whether that was we needed wisdom of how to set business stuff up, or we needed, we've never been here before because we're creating a new project. So for us, we've always realized that we need coaching. We need people that are helping us. And sometimes this is just books. Sometimes this is people that are in a relationship. Benji's got mentors that live in his city. I've got mentors that live in my city. They're not necessarily just YouTube mentors. It could be about business, your mindset, your life. But you definitely want to surround yourself with a circle of genius that can support your success and keep you motivated.
Absolutely. I give so much credit to the mentors in my life who not only taught me obviously about like things like YouTube, digital marketing, social media, but just life in general. And for me, it's pretty simple. If they've already succeeded, I ask them how to succeed and I just duplicate it. Secondly, mentors don't have to be in person. They don't actually have to be people So one of the best ways for me to get pumped up in the morning are my digital mentors. This isn't a formal relationship, you guys. I literally go to YouTube and I type things like motivational videos, motivational speeches, right? Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, all these amazing people. Evan Carmichael, Sean, I don't know if you know this, but he's on right now. Evan, what's up? People like that put out content that can be a mentor for you, but it's one-sided. You're just consuming their content. But in the mornings when I listen to these videos about how to stay pumped up or achieving like a high level of success, that stuff just gets me going, right? Especially in the mornings when it's like maybe one of those slow days and I don't really want to get out of bed. I literally, and I even bother and annoy Judy with it. I'll just put my phone onto YouTube, motivational videos, listen to these amazing people preach, right? Preach about like, hey, get off your butt. Let's get back on the grind, get into the office and make things happen. So those are also mentors you could utilize. And I can tell you this, just like music pumps you up, those mentors that aren't formally in your life, but like have content out there can really get your day going and keep you motivated.
Yeah, so tell us in the comments, who's somebody you admire online or maybe a digital mentor for you? Maybe it's an author, you know? I know both Benji and I, one of the reasons we first met or one of the things we connected about was actually a book called Crush It back in 2009 is when that book came out. And we both read that same book from Gary Vaynerchuk. For me, John Maxwell. For me, different people that I follow online. So tell us one of your mentors. And if you're getting value out of this stream, can you smash the like button? Because we love that we get to hang out with you, whether you're here live or on the replay. But we're talking about 5 ways to stay motivated. And number 3 is be flexible. Be flexible. You know, we talked about in number 1, you got to set your goal and stay focused on your goal. But then you need to be flexible because things, you know, Murphy's Law, if things can go wrong, they will. Like whatever can go wrong will go wrong. And so what we learned was like we had to be flexible. We had to be flexible shooting in different states, as Benji mentioned, shooting in hotel rooms, figuring out schedules, making compromises. You know, there's going to be conflict in the process. Like if you would imagine Benji and I get on here and like we're pumped up, we're charged, we're great friends, we're unified business partners, but you know that it's kind of like a marriage, man. You're going to probably fight. You're going to have to disagree. That means you got to be flexible, right? There's going to be things where somebody wants it one way. There has to kind of be compromises in any kind of relationship. And that's even for you. You expect things to go one way. You expect the timeline to go a certain way. It's probably not going to go that way. And so you want to be flexible. You know, one of my favorite kind of proverbs I've heard was, blessed are the flexible, those who bend and don't break.
Absolutely. You know, I want to use kind of an example that I think a lot of people can relate to. In sports, what do? We warm up, right? And we stretch. We warm up and stretch to be flexible. And if you don't flex, like if you're not flexible while you're playing your sport or you're in the game or you're doing whatever physical activity, you could literally hurt yourself or break something, right? The more flexible you are, the more limber you will be, and the ability to take on adversity. So in this case, right, say you have a goal in mind and you already kind of set a path. Like I know some of you guys are perfectionists. You guys know like day to day what it's going to look like, you know, like when you're going to hit certain benchmarks, when you're going to set certain like, you know, like goals and stuff like that. If you're not flexible and you don't hit it, you're going to be really hard on yourself. And like, I see this all the time. People literally want to quit, right? Because they can't take the fact that it's not going their way. Just know it's not going to go your way. Okay. I can just guarantee that for 99.999% of you guys, that it is going to be different. The path to success will like wind left to right, go different directions. There's going to be highs and lows. I can tell you this, even Sean and I, we have disagreed on things before. We're like, to the point where like, I was like, man, is this going to affect our friendship? But again, Sean and I had enough vision and commitment to the goal, and we were willing to flex. I can tell you this, even the dynamic of our relationship and how we like collaborate on this channel has flexed and changed. And that ability to adjust has really kept us going for 4 years now, right? And going strong for years into the future. So definitely, Sean, flexibility is important. Just like in sports, it's the same on YouTube with your guys' goals, your channels, and your journey to success.
So we're talking about how to stay motivated. And actually, if you have a question about motivation, about mindset, or about our story, let us know. Type 4 question marks and then the question and put some question marks after there. And our team will help us see that question. We'll do a few Q&A questions here as we get to the conclusion of this training. But number 4 is enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. You know, one of the things we've realized is that 4 years is a grind. No, even if you love what you're doing, even if and let me know, some of you've been on YouTube 6, 7, 8 years, you know that it takes a lot of work and it can wear you down. And one of the things we've learned is that we want joy to be at the center of whatever we do. Like if we're not having fun, we don't want to keep doing it. Now, that's not to say that you don't still have to take the trash out. I mean, there's aspects of building a YouTube channel, of growing a business, of being an entrepreneur, of being a content creator. That's not all fun and games. However, you want joy at the center of what you're doing. And to be able to stay in this for the long haul, you definitely need kind of processes to make sure that that joy stays at the center, whether that's rest, whether that's remembering your why, remembering your goals and your reasons, whether that's just kind of making a mental switch to be like, okay, you know what, this has turned into a burden. It's not a burden, but I have to change my thinking. I have to change my mindset, and I have to keep enjoying the journey. And here's what I think is so important. You know, too many of us kind of get overly romantic about the destination. It's not about the destination. You know, we're excited that the book is coming out September 25th. This is a mountain top for us, but it's not the top of the mountain. We are here now and we have to be looking further because it's about the journey, not about the destination. I've heard that in marriage, this can be one of the challenges, right? What is it? It's that sometimes it can become all about the wedding day and all about the flowers and the cake and the dress and making the wedding day so special. But if you've been married before, look, it's not all like the wedding day, right? As soon as the wedding's over, reality sets in and you realize that person's got bad breath, and you realize that that person is not always in a good mood, and you realize that that person, right? And so we have to learn and set up systems to enjoy the journey and not be so obsessed. Like if we hit a subscriber goal, that's awesome. Celebrate it. But it's about the process, not the destination. Benji, what do you think about enjoying the journey?
Well, it's absolutely true. Not only to enjoy the journey every day if you're already in it, but when you start, make sure you're doing something that you love to do. You know, the reason it was easier for Sean and I to start video influencers, it was we already had a passion for it. And a lot of you might be asking, well, like, I don't even know what my passion is, right? Well, the number one way to know is like, ask yourself, what do you have fun doing? What would you do every single day without getting paid? What do you look forward to doing on the weekends after you're off from work on Fridays? Whatever that is probably going to lead you to a passion. And if you have that passion, you're going to have fun doing this. So start off the right way. A great example like of me and Sean, right? I'm not really a talking head kind of video guy. We do that because it delivers value, and that's ultimately what I want to do. But I have more fun having like a conversation, going live with you guys like this. This is what I love to do. So that's why we started the interviews. Number one, we wanted to get the wisdom from all these successful creators, right? These influencers that are doing it every day. But I love just talking to my friends. Like these are people over the last 10 years that I've met, and I'm so honored, and I look up to their success, right? So that conversation where I'm interviewing them is something I do every single day. Sean and I, one of the reasons we're like, man, we should start this channel is because we talk like this every day. We're geeks. We're literally YouTube geeks. I'm like so proud to say that because we talk about YouTube, about online videos, about social media as if it was like, you know, what other people would talk about like sports, or people were talking about like a hobby or something like that. And correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, like literally even off camera, we continue talking about this. And that's the fun that we have that sustains us through those, you know, good and bad times, obviously, and has let us be here 4 years later.
Exactly. That's so true, Benji, because you have to enjoy the journey and enjoy the process. Therefore, you really want to pick a topic, a niche, something that you would geek out on anyways. And Benji, you're totally right. It's funny. We'll get done shooting videos and we're talking about algorithms or how things are changing or what's happening in YouTube culture, the latest YouTube news. We obsess over this stuff, right? So that's helped us stay motivated over 4 years. I think it's because we picked something we are truly passionate about, and we didn't just pick something that maybe we could profit from. You know, I think a lot of people approach YouTube and think, well, how can I just make money and what would be popular? Which is, I think, fine, but if you're not truly passionate about it, you won't press through the hard times and you won't press through the challenges. And so if you can, like Benji says all the time, follow your fun, understanding that it's not always necessarily going to be fun, but you know you can always tap back into that. because we're just getting started. Like you said, Benji, I'm excited to keep talking about this stuff. This landscape is always changing. The other day, someone said, what else can you bring that's new to this topic? Are you kidding? They're changing algorithms all day. They're adding new features all day. There's new platforms. This isn't just about a YouTube thing. This book is about YouTube, but video influencers, we're here to help you with online video, LinkedIn video, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and the latest platforms that'll be coming out. That's why we are committed to this journey, because we love online video. We love helping people, and we really believe there's a revolution happening that you're a part of and we're a part of, and we just want to be a support to you on the journey. But number 5, Benji, is commit to the process and pace yourself. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, we've already talked about committing to the goal, right? And keeping that in front of you, but commit to the process of work. And like we said, enjoy that work. But what I want to dive into is this idea of pacing yourself. One of the very practical tips we give to people is upload once a week for 52 weeks versus uploading once a day for 52 days, because burnout typically happens after that 52 days, right? And it's better to string it out among a year, because you get so much more wisdom from that. You build up a different type of momentum. Don't get me wrong. Like, some people make these goals, like, I want to vlog every single day for 30 days. Great, right? But don't stop. Keep it going. And that's why we suggest to people, just the average creator that's just getting into it, pace yourself, because it's easy to get excited like on your first day, or maybe we're getting you excited. Give us a thumbs up right now if we're getting you pumped up, getting you excited, right? But we want you to be excited, not just tomorrow or next week, but next month, by the end of the year, by the end of next year. And pacing yourself is so important. When I run marathons, for example, I did break my collarbone recently. I had a little surgery. But when I get back into it, I'm going to be training for my next marathon. I don't go right out the gates sprinting. I'm not like one of those like Olympic runners that can sprint a marathon, right? I have to pace myself, because I know I have 26 miles to go. And most marathon runners, they do this, right? They're not like sprinting for a mile and then like walking the rest of the way, and it's like a miserable, torturous journey. If you pace yourself, you can actually enjoy that run, right? In fact, I would say this: you would get to the end a lot more quickly than if you were to do something like sprint the first mile and have to like walk and kind of like fake jog the whole way. Same thing on YouTube. Like, be in it for the long game. That's why we say commit to the process, because there is a process that could take a lot longer. We bring this up all the time whenever we talk about the book. 6 months, you guys, that's how long we thought is going to take to write the book, right? I think it took 6 months just to like get pen on paper to like start writing words in the book, right? So just know that like 4 years later, we were committed to the process. We enjoyed the process, and we did pace ourselves, like we had to respect each other's time, right? So we're like, okay, let's make the most of this trip so that we can give ourselves like a month or two of runway, so that the next time we meet with each other is like 2 months from now to create more. Again, we weren't thinking like, let's work every single day of our life until the book is made, because I would say this: we might have like wanted to kill each other. We probably wouldn't have wrote the book, and ultimately just wanted to quit. So pacing yourself is so important.
Yeah, it's absolutely about the long game, and it's hard in today's culture because we get everything instantly. I mean, even now, your favorite Netflix show comes out and they give you the whole season instantly, right? So if you're like me and Sonia, there goes a Saturday, right? But like, you just binge watch the whole thing. We're used to getting everything instantly, microwave, fast. Because of social media, there's all this kind of promises of overnight success, but the truth is this: overnight success really isn't real. Overnight success takes 10 to 20 years. And that means you got to pace yourself. And Benji's totally right. We have had times where we sprint. We put in a lot of work. We do go on little bursts of work, but then we also rest, right? We block time for family. For us, that's really a core value of ours. What comes up first for us is our faith, is our family, is our friends, is these other things. And all of those people would tell you we work hard, but we also block time for what matters most because we don't want to build a mountain of success while sacrificing our family or our health or our mental health on the altar of this YouTube thing. And, there's been some articles coming out in mass lately about YouTubers burning out. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And we're empathetic to that. But we're also paying attention to say, look, we don't want to burn ourselves out. And great things can be built, but they take time and patience, and they take probably a lot longer than you think. I didn't think this was going to take 4 years, but to be honest, I'm happy that it did because this book is coming out right and not rushed. We're really proud of it. We've put a ton of work into it. We've put 4 years of our life into this book, and we're excited to share it with you, but pace yourself.
On that note, Sean, I did want to add something. Like you said, right? We thought it was going to be 6 months. We definitely didn't think it was going to take 4 years. But I love what you said. Like, I'm glad it took that long because I believe the book is better for you guys than it would have been if it was just 6 months. Because again, even though we thought we had already gone through the journey. So by that time, Sean was already kind of utilizing YouTube for almost a decade, right? I was on there full time for about 6 years. And we thought we've got enough answers. But those last 4 years, we literally duplicated the principles that we wrote in the book. So like our success is a result of what's in that book, you guys. Like we didn't just write something, right? Like we practice what we preach, but also all those interviews. Sean, we never thought when we were going to write the book, we were going to interview people. We were going to already take the stories we knew about. So we got so many stories for you guys. And again, we were so committed to the process and we enjoyed it that, again, it made the goal even better, even grander, even bigger. And somebody yesterday was saying, hey, Benji, you and Sean should totally celebrate. And this was, I told them, I was like, we're definitely going to celebrate. We would love to have like a family and friends night where we like thank everybody for supporting us. But Sean and I kind of celebrate every time we meet in a small way, right? Like, so after a day of shooting, we'll take the team out for dinner and we'll cheers, like have like some drinks. And we're just thankful that like we're on the journey to writing the book because we know that journey is what creates the wisdom. That's what's going to create the what's going to be important to get noticed, right? So I know I just went off on a rant, Sean, but we'd love to get into Q&A. But you guys, anything you want to do that's like great and takes a certain level of work, it's going to take time.
It's going to take time. And remember that YouTube is a marathon and not a sprint. And so our team has been getting some of our these questions that you're putting in on a doc. So we'll go through those and we have them all queued up over here. But hey, we're excited for the book. It's going to be hitting Amazon 25th, September 25th. We're going to be recording the audiobook. That's scheduled. So an audiobook's coming your way. And eventually it's also going to make its way to iBooks and Google Play. And it'll be on Barnes & Noble, a few other places. So thank you so much for the support. We're excited to share it with you. And question of the day, what are your tips for staying motivated? What are your tips for staying motivated? Tell in the comments. These are 5 of ours that have helped. But to be honest, I know you've got your own, right? I know you understand that it is a struggle, that great things take time, and you're putting in the work, and you've been patient, and you've been building your channel for 6 months or 6 years. So what are some of the tips you use for your mindset and focus? And Benji, let me know if you have those questions and if you want to tackle the first one.
Yeah. First one is this from Dave. He asked, what would you do if YouTube labeled your niche inappropriate? By the way, I feel for you. I don't even know what it is, right? It might be something that I personally disagree with or I don't want to see, but still, like, everybody should be able to create the content that they want around the topic that they're interested in. And what's happening with Alex Jones, if you guys aren't familiar, he's like a popular news guy, politics guy, definitely like a little eccentric, extreme sometimes for some people. And what I'd say is this, like, you can't really argue with YouTube, right? Like, it's their platform, it's their rules. And what I'd say is, like, when we created video influencers, even though we picked YouTube as like the flagship place to put out content. We're inspired by online video, not just YouTube videos. So just know, like, online video, wherever you got to go. And that's another thing too. Like, maybe there's a better platform for you to go, but I feel for you, Dave. There's not a lot you can do unless you want to completely switch it up or start a new channel. But I'd say, like, go to the platform where you're able to do it. And that's why building your own email list is so important, you guys. Like, as you on this journey, try to collect as much information from your audience as possible in terms of, like, how to get in contact with them. And that's why social media is also too. And just realize, that's the danger of social media and, like, platforms like YouTube, is they can switch things at any moment. So make sure you're building a business and a brand and awareness so that your content, like, has a place to live no matter where you go, versus just relying on one place.
Yes, absolutely. One of the questions came in that actually asked, how did Benji and I meet? And so we mentioned we met back around 2010 at the YMCA, actually, was when we first met. And yeah, Benji, you remember that?
Yeah, that was pretty funny, because I had a breakdancing battle. I'm going to be real quick about this, and then Sean will get the next question. I had a breakdancing battle I used to plan. About 1,000 people would come annually, one of the biggest events in the Northwest. And Sean wanted to do, like, a little documentary, which, by the way, I don't think ever came out, right? He wanted to do a documentary about the kids planning this event, right? And I heard about him. I was a little protective of the kids, so I had a meeting with him, and I told him about Judy and what I did with my wife part-time. And he's like, "Oh, that's crazy. I would have never thought somebody in this little town was doing it." And that's how we met. And in fact, literally 3 days later is when I asked Sean, this guy that was, like, a little wary of, to shoot my wedding proposal. So it's, like, a really funny story. But again, I knew right away, like, after I saw that video of my proposal, which, by the way, Sean, that'd be fun to show sometimes. But that's how we met, you guys. You never know. And the passion that we had for online video and supporting other people's in this space, that's what kept us together in this friendship.
Yes. And Benji, there's a great question in there, and we have 3 answers or 3 points. So if you want to type something in there, Chanel,
okay, for sure.
Asks, where did you first start when having your channel become your business? That's a good question. I think that the cool thing about YouTube is you can start working on your dream job while you have a day job. So you almost don't really need to worry about making it a business. Now, of course, you might want to have, like, legal protection and whatnot, but I actually watched a friend do this, and in my opinion, he was doing the steps wrong. So he had not started his thing yet. What he did was he's like, I need an LLC. So he paid a bunch of money to start that. And then he's kind of like, I need business cards. And then I need a website. And I was like, no, actually, you need to just start posting videos to YouTube to see if the stuff even works. You need to actually go see, like, you don't need to go incorporate a business to sell your first product. You can actually just sell your first product, put up a PayPal button, put up an Etsy shop. And there's no need to start a business if no one's clicking buy, right? So for me, it was all about YouTube and affiliate marketing, and I was building that on the side. Proof of concept. I was uploading videos. I've been doing video production since 2003. So I started reviewing cameras around 2010 because I was shooting wedding videos and all these kinds of things and connecting it to affiliate marketing. You don't need a business to do that. They just bill you 1099 as a sole proprietor here in the US, and you are in business. As soon as you're in business is the day you put in business and you get paid money. The IRS is like, if you got some money, you're a business, you're a sole proprietor, whether you incorporate or not. And so I think prove your concept first, press record first, and then what you can do is bring structure to it later. Sometimes we use that structure as, I think, an excuse to not take action. We actually use structure as procrastination. Like a business card is going to grow your business if you get those printed. No, you got to go out and get business and hustle, and you can always put structure around it later.
Boom. So this question is from W Lynch 05. Can you list 3 things you wish you had known getting into this? So I'm just going to assume a lot of things here, but you're talking about, like, when I first started my YouTube channel. My number one thing is it's okay to create any type of content that you're passionate about, even if there isn't an audience. So this is what I mean. Back when we first started, Judy and I, the world of YouTube was a small community. She explains YouTube in those early days from 2005 to about 2008 as a small community where like a lot of the creators all knew each other. Some of the early VidCon events, like you would go there and you didn't just know people like in your space or your niche, right? You kind of know all the players because it was very small. But there was a lot of types of content that weren't being done that weren't going to be popular till later. And this is a reason why I felt like I should have known that early on. There's a video of me, Sean, by the way, in 2011 that I sent to you where I give like tips about, how to work YouTube, how to build a business, how to make money, things that we talk about on video influencers all the time. I didn't put it out there like public. I just did it unlisted for my friend and I sent it to other YouTubers because really that there wasn't a huge need, or I guess people weren't really looking for or searching it. But imagine if I had started back then. So the point is this. YouTube is continuing to grow. We've got about 2 million logged in users, in addition to the people that's not logged in, right? Plus billions of people that are going to come online in the next few years in countries where internet's just creeping in. And you guys, that's so important to remember because don't wait to start. Like start right now and know that there's going to be people that are interested in the content that you're putting out there. Maybe not right now, but eventually, because everybody uses YouTube for search. So that's what I wish. That's number one for me, Sean.
Yeah, and I think if I was to just add one, and we could just do one question after this, to be honest, there were so many things. Back when I started YouTube, I actually wish I had this. And that's kind of why we wrote this. We wrote the book that we wish we had when we started. And I wish there was courses and things like we have as well. Because I remember, especially the first YouTube channel I started was in 2007. And there wasn't training at all around that time. And then even in 2010, when I first started Think Media and Sean Thinks, there wasn't a lot of clarity training. I wish I would have known about starting with the end in mind and really knowing who your target audience is and really the importance of niching down. I just started by posting a lot of random videos and doing a lot of random stuff. And so my learning curve was long, it was painful, it was hard. But one of the things we've learned, right, is that mentorship, right, is the shortcut to success, is that someone's already done it. If you're going to go climb Mount Everest, which is an insane challenge, right, you don't just go, you know what, I'm just going to wing it. I think I'll just figure it out on my, I'm just like, we'll see how it goes. I mean, that's dangerous. It would probably cost you your life. What do? You get a guide, you get a map. And so whether that was clarity, channel, how algorithms work, just everything, there's so much that I wish I would have known. But kind of one of the final questions here is Photoscape. What do you do when people call you a sellout or when you do a sponsorship? Benji, what would you say to that if they call you a sellout for doing a sponsorship on your channel?
First off, I'm grateful for all of you guys that support us and leave positive comments. And, negativity and constructive criticism, there's a place for it. But I take it all with a grain of salt. And this is why we say like the motivation, inspiration needs to be internal because people are going to disagree with you. Example like that. Someone's going to say you're a sellout for working with a brand. I would tell you two things. Number one, if you're working with a brand because it's going to help you make better content and deliver better videos for your audience, then who cares what they say, right? Because you do need to make a living. Like that's why we talk about this on video influencers, building your influence and income. We don't just say build your influence and just make videos forever for free. No, you got to be able to create a living for yourself, pay the bills, right? And have success and like all the things that go along with it. So people are going to say stuff like don't get too serious about it. Secondly, you got to do you. You got to do this the way that you're comfortable and that's going to work for you. And ultimately, there will be people that try to pull you down. I can tell you this. A lot of people, they're just envious or they're jealous or they're not willing to put in the work and the hustle to get to a point where a brand would want to sponsor them. Am I going to agree with every sponsorship everybody does? No, right? And the same thing with me. In the last 10 years, I've done some sponsorships where people are like, man, this is kind of weird or it doesn't really align. I never let that bother me. I always thought, okay, is this going to be good for the audience, right? Is this going to help me create better content? Is this going to help me create a business where I can scale up the quality of my videos? as long as I'm thinking about that, I don't really care what all these sideline critics say about me and how I'm doing it. So hopefully that helps you to have confidence to just go boldly forward and make the most of what you're doing, even if that means sometimes you work with brands to make your channel and videos better.
Yes, and I'm glad that that question was asked, because one of the realities that is going to come your way as you have increased success is that you will get haters. And that's why you want to have your vision and your goals and yourself, your motivation, why you know why you're doing it. You know, other people's opinions are simply that. They're other people's opinions, and not everyone's going to like you, but commit to the process. Keep posting, keep building, put blinders on, stay focused on your goals. And the people who like you and want to build with you, they'll gather around you, but you'll get haters along the way. So we like to say, you know, have thick skin, but keep a soft heart. And so thank you so much for being a part of this. Hey, we hope that you can grab a copy of YouTube Secrets when it comes out and use the hashtag all over social media, because we're going to be giving away coaching calls with Benji and I one-on-one for if you use the hashtag on Twitter, which is YouTube Secrets. Hashtag YouTube Secrets. And man, we realize this, the party on YouTube is just getting started. Is it crowded? Yes. But is there massive opportunity right now? Yes. Stay focused, keep posting, keep leveling up your skills, get information, connect with the right people, put yourself in the right environments, stay subscribed here, stay subscribed to a lot of our friends that are putting out great content on their channels, because there is an online video revolution happening right now. I know you see that, and we're committed to be partnered with you on that journey.
Boom, you guys. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with is Sean and I wouldn't spend time not only building video influencers and giving videos to you and writing this book right here if we didn't actually believe that this could be a realistic opportunity for you guys, whether you're into this like 10 years or 1 year, or you're just getting started. Maybe you're seeing this video for the first time just to get general motivation. We believe that the best opportunities are yet to come. And this is after a decade of like literally the greatest time in my life. And some of the most amazing things have happened, not just because my family and friends, but also like what YouTube has opened doors to, right? And we feel like that's the same for you guys. So you guys, check it out. September 25th, I'll hand it back to Sean. Peace out, you guys.
Question of the day: what are your tips for staying motivated? Tell us in the comments below, and subscribe if you are not subscribed. Click or tap the screen right there to check out some other videos from video influencers. And remember, this channel is all about helping you build your influence, income, and impact with online video. Keep crushing it, and we will talk soon.